Welcome to episode 1 of Drew's Basketball Crew here on this Tuesday afternoon. Yes, myself, Drew Skyberg, bringing you your winning lineup on Fantasia Sports on the basketball side today. It's getting crazy here. NBA tip-off is today. I am extremely looking forward to this as it is episode 2 of the week. So we have 4 episodes planned here. Of course, we have the College Athlete Spotlight coming out. That'll be later tonight here at 9-10 p.m. or so. We will have that for you. And then also we'll have Journey to a Million coming your way tomorrow night, recorded live here on YouTube or Twitch, wherever you are watching or listening. Of course, that'll be on all listening platforms then on the next day, Thursday night-ish. We like to get that out for everyone around the Thursday night football games. So that'll be that. And what we're talking about today, we're talking about some daily fantasy basketball. Yes, we are finally doing that here, and I am really looking forward to that. So how this works, I mean, we've never done a basketball daily fantasy kind of preview here. Usually when there's a bigger slate today on October 18th, it is only 2 games. Usually these will be recorded again nights prior, just with 2 games scheduling worked out where it's in the afternoon today. So that'll be that. But Fantasia Sports, they have some contests going on. You can win some NBA memorabilia. So, go check that out. Again, link is in description. It's on the link tree. It's also in the description, just as is. So that is that. But again, it'll usually work. I'm going to go through some value plays. We're going to talk about matchups, kind of that approach. But with 2 games, it's kind of hard to, just take, there's a lot. Let's say it like this. There's a smaller sample size, so it's really, a lot tougher to kind of find all those value plays. So I kind of got to go through everyone because odds are you're going to have to take a lot of players on the same team. You're going to have to, as many people aren't fans of necessarily stacking players, there's some of that in this kind of format, considering there's 2 games on the slate tonight. So let's go through it. Basically, we're going to look at the projected starting lineups and whatnot. And the thing I wanted to highlight is with the Los Angeles Lakers, kind of with Thomas Bryant being out, Dennis Schroeder being out, and Troy Brown, as small as that sounds, that could lead to a bigger role for one of my first value plays, Lonnie Walker as a small forward on the Lakers. I'm intrigued to see how many minutes he will get with Troy Brown getting out and potentially nailing that starting spot as well. Also with Austin Reeves, I want to see kind of how Reeves and Beverly, because I know you can look at preseason minutes and whatnot, but I really don't like to. I really, it's nothing's for real until it's a regular season game. I look at that for NFL as well, obviously, and this is no different. So I would be more intrigued in Reeves and Walker tonight as value plays for the Lakers. But otherwise, of course, if you want to go stars, LeBron and AD looks like they're playing. They're good to go. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, Westbrook on the bench. Westbrook's always one. You got to look at the format. I mean, scoring is so important, right? Like fantasy basketball, especially too. Missed field goals. If you lose points for those field goals attempted, Westbrook might not be your guy. But from a volume aspect where you're not penalized for, let's say, missed shot attempts, Russell Westbrook's always a pretty good option depending on salary as well, but considering, right, he's a stat sheet stuffer. It's always stat sheet stuffer. Okay, got it. That's what he is. So I would be willing to incorporate him. And then on the Warriors side, I think I'd be going the Warriors stars tonight. And when I say stars, I mean I'm talking about Andrew Wiggins. I'm talking, maybe Jordan Poole off the bench leading that bench unit. I'm talking about James Wiseman. So those 3 guys are ones I would incorporate in your lineup from the get-go. I feel like they're going to get some value there with especially Wiseman. And then also with Wiggins and Poole, you'll have some solid scoring there. So that's kind of where I'd go with that. I think for stars, I think I would be taking – it's tough. I mean, I'd probably be taking Jason Tatum. I know I'm chasing upside. I feel like Tatum, it could be inconsistent. It could be tough, but I feel like Tatum's going to give you a nice edge. I'm intrigued to see who guards Brown, who guards Tatum. Of course, who's going to be matched up with them the most. Of course, they're going to want mismatches there. But PJ Tucker right now looks like he's going to be playing the 4 for the 76ers tonight. So intrigued to see how Tobias Harris and him handle Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. So I'd be looking at Tatum from an offensive standpoint, from a star standpoint. Then also with Al Horford, with Robert Williams being out, I'm wondering also with Grant Williams, of course, but I like those value plays. And then watch Derek White for his salary wise. If you can get him wherever you're playing for a pretty reasonable price, I'd be taking Derek White over Klay Thompson tonight, even though they're at home. Like I'm just saying, like value wise, I'd take what Derek White will give me over those guys. Also, I have to throw another guard in there. Tyrese Maxey, right? I mean, many people are anticipating a breakout year for Maxey, and rightfully so. Had a very nice playoff run for himself, and I'm all for it. Let me give you some more bench guys here who I think could have some value tonight. D'Anthony Melton with the 76ers, probably going to be playing with leading the second team. I guess it's going to be probably Melton and Harrell for the 76ers who will have the most interest. Malcolm Brogdon, wondering how he performs. He could be leading the second stringers with taking Derek White's place there. Otherwise, I mean, I mentioned Jordan Poole, Lonnie Walker's one. Otherwise, yeah, it's tough tonight because, again, not many games going on, but I would be staying away probably from Curry tonight. I'd be staying away from, Curry's going to be on Pat Beverly. I know he's had pretty good numbers against Beverly for his career, but, statmuse.com is what I recommend if you really want to do matchup by matchup. But the beauty of basketball, as we know, player X is not going to be on player Y the whole game. I mean, that's just, there might be some matchups, there might be some isolations, but really, I mean, with basketball, how it flows, of course, we're not going to see, matchup to matchup. You're not going to see, right? We're not going to see a wide receiver get followed by a cornerback, etc. So I always kind of like to avoid that. I like to look more about opportunity. I think volume is the beauty of basketball DFS. That's kind of, what I've told people. I've had some success last year with trying to find value, trying to find upside, finding guys who might not necessarily be the best players, but guys who are gonna have the best opportunity on a night in, night out. So I'm not, of course, looking for a guy who I think has a lot of talent, but not an opportunity, right? I'm looking for a guy who, oh no, this guy's out, so we're gonna need him to fill in. And I'm looking for him. I'm looking for some value. So that's where I think Lonnie Walker fits that philosophy. I would go with, I think even a guy like Al Horford with Robert Williams, the news there fits that. I even would consider, I talked about Andrew Wiggins with more opportunity, considering Iguodala is going to be out, even though I don't know how much of a role he'd play, but James Wiseman coming back, I think there's some opportunity there. It's really about finding that opportunity, finding that value. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And again, only 2 games, so it's really tough to look all at the 10-18 slate. And otherwise, let me go through some more stuff, the lineups. Marcus Smart, again, that's more of a defensive play, but you could be looking matchup wise, Tyrese Maxey being not the greatest defender could be some advantage there for Smart, White, Brogdon, some of those taller, lengthy guards on the Celtics squad, but that'd be a play I'd be interested in. Also, I just always get concerned with the scoring wise for him. Yeah, I mean, we're a little over 9 minutes here, and I mentioned only 2 games, so it's hard. Imagine, doing this for the baseball crew. Only 2 games. How are you supposed to do it? But I will be having my lineup, of course, submitted on social media, so you can go check it out there. And I want to keep this one quick today. They'll usually be around 20 minutes. Today's only going to be around 10, based on the fact, again, we don't have many games, but keep that in mind. Also, always watch the injury report as well. Benedict Mathurin, Rookie of the Year. I do have him, Larry James. Let me tell you this. I have Benedict Mathurin on my Dynasty League. I took him first round in the rookie draft, and I'm right with you, man. I have him and Jaden Ivey as kind of my top 2 guys in the class right now, who I think are going to make the biggest impacts year one. So nothing against, of course, the top guys like Jabari Smith, Paulo Banchero, those guys. I do feel Matherin and Ivy have a path to greatness in year one. So I'm with you, man. Some of my favorite guys there. Thank you again for the comment. Appreciate it. Again, we love talking basketball here on the podcast. But again, that'll probably wrap it up here for myself, Drew Skyber. Again, we want to keep this one quick, but social media is at Drew Sports Crew. That's where you'll find all the good stuff there for football, baseball, basketball, collegiate, high school, all the good stuff. It's all on there at Drew Sports Crew. And then lastly, Fantasia Sports, you'll find me on there. There's a fantasy football league we're in. They don't have fantasy basketball yet. We're waiting on that. We're excited for that on Fantasia, but that'll wrap it up for myself, Drew Skyberg, here on this Tuesday afternoon. So thank you all for listening to yet another episode of Drew's Sports Crew, the perfect podcast for you.